My friends, I gotta tell you, I'm super excited to share with you this process we call Reconnect and Rise, the experience. Now, I call it the experience because I didn't want to just create a training for you to come and learn more information. You have information. You've read books, you've gone to therapy, you've done podcasts, you've done webinars, you have all this knowledge. But what we know therapeutically is one of the most powerful ways for people to have lasting change is through what we call a corrective emotional experience. So all of the things we offer here are experiences. And this Reconnect and Rise one is one of my favorites. It combines individual work with couples work and puts them together in one place to create a very rapid opportunity to both heal individually, wherever you are, and to heal and take your relationship to the next level. So real quickly, who this is for. Now, some of you have been to seminars that are based on your specific struggle. We don't do that here. This is all about specifically where you want to go. Now, as I mentioned, my goal is not to help you become an expert in your issues or how they started. That's my job. My job is also to know how to help you grow and change and make the progress you're after. Even in my own therapy practice, I found times where I was super effective, but it was slow. And what I can tell you, the things that we do at Rise Experiences, I can't do for you in 50 minutes a week. Does that make sense? It's the same knowledge, same person doing the thing. I can't do it in that setting. So what makes this 2-day event followed by a 4-week challenge so unique? Well, first off, we address all areas of where you currently are individually and where you want to go. This includes your mental and emotional health, your physical well-being and physical fitness, as well as your spirituality or your soul connection. In addition to that, we also cover all aspects of your relationship. This is all your emotional needs, this is sexual intimacy, this is parenting, this is finances, this is household work, like all these things, right? They're overlapping, they mesh together. And one of the things I always found so difficult is a husband and wife are facing a struggle, even if it's one of their issues, let's say like addiction, which most of my career I've worked with. One of them is facing an addiction, but it's affected the other. So he's got this and it's affected her and she's got this, and they're going outside to find the healing, but working on those things doesn't normally help them connect. It doesn't help them get where they want to go. But what we found is when you can help people connect in facing the struggles, that helps things heal rapidly. Now, it's a unique process, and I think I'm one of the few therapists that has had a lot of opportunity in this just out of necessity. Several of the clinics I was at, I was the only trained couples therapist. And so what would happen is they would send a couple to me, and I would become his individual therapist and her individual therapist and the couples therapist. And what I found is as I did that, I could coordinate between them more effectively than if they were seeing other people. This allowed me to learn that when this happens, then this happens, and then this happens, and then that happens, it makes things speed up faster. This was all well and good, but there were still some situations, some underlying core things that most of us struggle with. Our beliefs about ourselves. We call these limiting beliefs, or sometimes I like to call them agreements we've made. I agree that I'm not good enough. I agree that I'm not lovable. I agree that whatever, right? And we run that through our head again and again and again. So often, those patterns of thought or behavior just play out, even though we don't want them to. Oftentimes, they're not conscious choices, which is very interesting. And so we try to apply consciousness to shift them, and it doesn't work because they're not conscious choices. They just happen. Is this making sense? You think about it. Do you choose anxiety? Who would ever choose to feel anxious? But here we are feeling anxious. I remember in different parts of my journey, there were things that I knew were deep struggles. And as I progressed and grew, those same things, I wasn't managing the issue anymore. They just weren't an issue anymore. As I started to realize that, I was like, how did that happen? And how do we duplicate that? Right? I learned a lot about mindfulness, and I'm a big fan, and it's out there a ton. But what happens is, right, I'm mindful about my feelings, trying not to react or respond in a negative way, but I'm still feeling all the feelings. And the idea was, what if I don't have to feel those feelings because those things out there don't mean the same thing? What I mean by that is, what if I feel so capable, so lovable, so in tune with who I am and what I can do, that I'm not afraid reactively or instantly? What would that be like? So I sought out what's happening in the neuroscience world, and I started to find these different things that were happening. And I started to travel and learn, and I went to a specific training, and I walked out with my buddy who's a therapist, and I said, I would trade my master's degree for what I just learned there. This changes everything. I had the opportunity to get on stage and work on something that I had worked on a lot. I had done a lot of work around it, but still, when it happened, I would go into lightning quick reactivity and anger. I went on stage, and 17 minutes later, it was done. I went home, and it never came back. This was a year and a half, 2 years ago, almost at this point. When I learned that, I said, this is a game changer, and I'll never do therapy the same way. So I am specialized in one of the top couples therapy, several of the top trauma therapies, numerous addiction therapies. And what I will tell you is I won't do it the same way. Because we can do in a setting like Reconnect and Rise, or Rise Week, or Rise Day, what can't be done in week-to-week therapy. For those of you who have done a lot of work but still aren't where you want to be, this will fill those missing pieces. That's what I've seen with people. I'm thinking of a specific couple, but there's several examples where they've participated in this process in other events that we have in Rise Week or Rise Day. And just those events alone, struggles that they had worked with me as their therapist for years, and we couldn't quite get past them. When they went through this process, it just worked. And all the other things they had learned and done just fit into place, and they could go on and navigate life, and they didn't frankly need me anymore, which was awesome. Because my job is to put myself out of business, right? My job is to help you, not educate you about your problems or what you should go and do. My job is to help you shift so you're able to go home and be who you're meant to be and connect the way you're supposed to connect. So again, this isn't just education. This is an experience. This couple that I'm thinking of had done a lot of work, like so many of you, like me and my wife did. You probably learned this in other videos of mine. We saw 8 therapists, spent years in therapy, spent a lot of money. It was all worth it, and it helped. The reality is, I had to go through a longer, what I would say harder journey than what this is to get where I am. And to be honest, many of you have been on that same journey as me, and you're still not where you want to be. If this is you, let's go. Let's do it. I know the sacrifices you've made, and I wouldn't be offering this to you if I didn't know it could help. In fact, I built a whole program about a year ago that was the best that we knew how to do at the time. I never put it out because I learned this thing. I said, nope, we have to figure out how this thing works better first. And I'm so happy to tell you it's here. Okay, so if you have questions about it, contact us, ask questions. But more importantly, just come. And I'm gonna reduce any risk you have. So if you came and saw me for 3 sessions, you would spend more than you will for Reconnect and Rise. It's $500 for a couple. You get Friday night from 6 to 9 and all day Saturday from 9 o'clock till 7:30 with a lunch break in there. So these 12 hours cover each of your individual needs from top to bottom. It addresses all aspects of your relationship, but more importantly, it helps you know how to navigate the pieces together to get where you want to go. When the 2-day event ends, the experience isn't over. That's why we built the 4-week challenge. We wanted you to go home and to continue to experience change and growth. We want to help you stay with momentum. Sometimes when we do like a breakthrough with someone on, let's say, like weight loss, right? And they break through the cognitive things, the mental things, the emotional things that have been holding them back. But it doesn't mean magically all of a sudden they're in shape. They still have to go do the work. So what you'll find is you'll be empowered to go and do the work. It won't feel daunting, and you will know, I'm capable. And this isn't that challenging. And I'm talking to you who think your challenges are insurmountable. I have been there. I have been addicted. And I hear a lot of people say they're addicted, that aren't addicted. Like, I was addicted. Like, it consumed my mind. I'm not downplaying your struggles, but I need you to understand, like, I have been there, okay? And what I can tell you is you can heal. And I believe you can heal much more rapidly than was my situation. I think for a long time I was getting good stuff, not these more advanced things that are available now. So, couple comes for $500. I want to take any risk out of it. So, we have a couple guarantees. First one, you come to the event. If it's not what you're hoping for, it doesn't help you the way you want, give you your money back. No questions asked. The second part is if you come to the event and you go through and participate in the experience, in the challenge, and you're still feeling like, hey Austin, it's just not working for me. Even up to that point, you let us know and we'll give you your $500 back, and I'll do a one-on-one or a couple session with you, which has a $175 value. So the reason I want to do that is I didn't step away from the clinics I was at or even my therapy practice to make more money. I was doing fine. What I wanted was better treatment, more effective treatment, because this is personal for me. I spent 13 years trying to get to where I wanted to be. And there were times where I progressed and fell and progressed and fell. It's like, why do I keep going to the same places? Years of sobriety, years of not being messed up with certain beliefs, and then they come back. And to find that through the right things, those things can change rapidly, like, that's good news for all of us. Now, I'm not promising a magic pill. This is a path that you must walk. But there is a specific process that, when done correctly, will empower you to know what comes next. Again, I'm not telling you that in this 30 days everything will be all better, but you will leave knowing what to do to get it there, and you will have the tools to do so. So, common concerns come up, and I'll tell you, part of our whole goal is to start to shift the way you think about yourself and the possibilities for your life. So let's just address them. I want you to ask yourself what's coming up. Maybe there's something you're not believing about this experience. It's really interesting because there's typically two camps, and we don't know which one to fall in because, right, we have our individual issues and they affect our relationship, and we have our relationship issues and they affect us individually, but where do we go, right? And so what comes up for you? Well, I have too many individual issues. Guess what? This covers that. Or our relationship is different. Guess what? We cover that. What I can confidently tell you is, top to bottom, wherever you are, this is going to help you. So for those of you who are in a good spot and you're hearing all this hard stuff I'm talking about, guess what? All the better. Because this is going to address the deeper core stuff that you want. It's going to help you foster friendship. It's going to help you build deeper intimacy. It's going to help you stay in tune with your best self. So many of us are disconnected from our power. We're disconnected from our deeper purpose. There's so many distractions around us. To get in tune with who we are and what we're all about, and to know how to do it, that's amazing. So what else is coming up? Is it the money thing? Well, we covered that. My interest is not in charging you a ton of money for the best of things. I'd rather help a ton of you at a smaller price than a few of you at a huge price. Now, that's the way I work. If the money is a real issue, you get in touch with me and we'll talk through it. If this is right for you, because what I care about is if you're the type of person, if you're the people who want happiness and love and you're willing to invest in yourselves, that's who I want to work with. So if money is an issue, you get in touch with me. If the $500 is too much, we'll make it happen. What else? What other concerns might you have? Okay. A lot of times people have concerns about themselves. Austin, you just don't understand my issues. Well, let me tell you something. I do. I understand your issues. I understand the ins and outs of anything you could bring to me. Now, your situation may be unique, but honestly, at this point, I don't know that you could surprise me. I mean, I was a sex addiction recovery therapist in Las Vegas. I have worked with some of the most unique situations you can imagine and the most devastating of traumas. Now, what's interesting about past experiences like traumas is so often we focus on the trauma and what happened, when what we should be focusing on is the effects of the trauma. What's happening now because of that? Do you lack confidence? Does your body shrink up in certain situations? Do you believe something's wrong with you? These are the things we want to look at, okay? So what is it about you that you think is unique? And I can tell you that this encompasses that. And what's so cool about it is we don't identify you by your struggle. You can come and know that we see your potential. You are identified here by where you are going, and we will consistently remind you who you are and what you can become. Other concerns. Some of you are looking at me and you're going, my husband won't come. Men, if you're watching, this is what they say. 85% of mental health decisions are made by a woman. Real quickly, I recognize I'm a therapist. This is also not meant to be a therapeutic event. This is an event about people who are making a movement, people who are tired of not having the marriages they're meant to have. So you come here and what you're a part of is husbands and wives that are saying enough. We love each other and we want to set an example for our children of what this can be like. And we will take back this love that started this thing out. We will figure out how to meet each other's needs and help each other be happy. So you may say, my husband. I'm going to tell you, if your husband's not willing to work with you or your wife, you need to be starting to understand that this is going to be it. But my hope is that as you show this to them and they understand, okay, wait, we can get somewhere different. Let's take the time. Let's soften. Let's invest. What other worries might you have? Time, 2 days, right? And a 4-week challenge. What if in these 30 days, you could accomplish what takes most people years? Literally years. What if it's no longer a guessing game? Like, I really want you to be real with where you are. Do you want to stay in this spot for another day? Wouldn't it be worth an investment in you, even if it only helped with one of the things I'm talking about? You look at your personal life, okay? Let's say it's your spirituality. Let's say it's your physical fitness. Let's say it's one aspect of your mental health, just your anxiety, just your tendency to fear, just your shame, okay? Or your belief that you're inadequate, just one of those. If you came and one of those was better, and that helped you be better in your life and your marriage and for your kids, would it be worth it? Well, let's look at one aspect of your marriage. Let's look at your emotional bond, your spiritual bond, your sexuality, the way that you parent, the way that you do finances. What if just one of those things got worked out? Now, we're addressing all of those. I can confidently tell you that you will confidently leave this experience with no questions left. You'll understand the ins and outs, no more excuses. I know who I am, I know what I need to do, and I know I can do it. And then you go and you do. If just one of these things I'm saying could come true, would it be worth that investment? I know people who would spend thousands of dollars just for a nice 2-day trip away from their kids to have some peace and quiet. What if for $500 you could have peace for months and years? What if you could have that connection that started this whole thing out? What if initially you couldn't keep it consistently, but you started to know how to do it again? And you started to gain this confidence of, oh, hey, we can do this. We're going to build on this, and we're going to have the rest of our life together become magical, playful, fun, flirty, where sex isn't a conflict anymore, or you're not working as a team well, but now you are. Like, what if those things could change? I can help you. I can help you be who you want to be. And what I'm telling you is it doesn't have to take a long time. You may not believe that. I want you to come and I want you to try it out. I've worked with people in the most challenging of situations. Yours isn't going to scare me. All we need to know is if you're willing. If that's you, sign up, and we'll see you at one of the upcoming events.